So when people look at their purpose, they go, oh, my purpose is to make the world a better place, right? And I know you've got some insights on purpose that is really trying to make it practical. I mean, even in your book, the book of Sacred Prescriptions, it's a practical guide to spiritual philosophy.
Yes, I do look at things quite differently. And, for me, it's the spin between massive inspirational purposes and vision, and then taking that into something that can be practically implemented. But I just want to quickly get back to what you just said, because that conversation in Mexico was super inspirational for me, and I'm so happy that we're revisiting it, because, I never really thought of it the way you do, is that you want 432 conscious leaders in the Circle of Excellence group that goes through our systems and mentorship and teaching and education and professional and personal development. And because of that process and their potential, which is something you really know how to spot in a person, they pop out on the other side and they have this massive effect. And you added that up to the point where you reckon if we have 432 conscious leaders with the impact you want, that we can actually establish a group of conscious leaders on this planet the size of Mauritius?
Absolutely, or perhaps even bigger.
That is phenomenal. And that is really something I would like every single person to experience who want to have a big impact. As you said, there's so many people who want to make a difference, but what does it really mean? But you got me thinking now that a lot of people who's leaders with impact, let's call them that, they look at all the technology and all the know-how and all the other leaders around them, but they do not have a system of how to actually find their purpose and translate their purpose into products and services that's going to make a difference. So you've just inspired me to draw the spiral out, which I want to remind us of again. So when you get one of these conscious leaders in and you want them really to go and create products and services that's going to make a massive impact, what I see in our client base is if a person walk in and they go, this is my purpose, but you don't really know where that purpose comes from, it's almost like a fire that gets lit, but every time a wind comes, it just blows that fire out. Whereas when a person come in and we can show them about their essence, in other words, show them what makes them super unique, what differentiates themselves, then that discovery of self leads them to create something that I know we both feel very, very passionate about, and that is values. So unless you understand your essence and who you are, it's really difficult to understand your values. I mean, we take our values very, very seriously, don't we?
Absolutely. Can I borrow that pen?
Yes.
So, as you know, like one of my essences is ancient wisdom, which is where the whole concept of 432 came from, because it's very ancient.
Yep.
And then when we matched that with our shared values as a couple, which is really this acrostic here, which for us is love, intuition, freedom, enrichment, and this one I love, nobility.
I do. I love freedom as well. I love all of them. I love our values. Yeah.
I do. Then that gives us a platform to move forward, because most people start with a mission, whereas actually you start with essence, then you move to values.
So this is phenomenal, because if you can focus on your essence, you actually have the gift in your hand to go and define your values. Me and you would have never been able to come up with these values if we did not understand our essence. And this is a very important part in having purpose. And I believe that's why your purpose is so incredibly well defined on this planet, because you are one of the few people that I know, one of the conscious leaders who really understand your essence. But it gets better, because when you understand your essence and you're clear on that, and you've went and you defined your values, then you can actually go and start making business and life decisions. Because, I mean, can you think of the last time where we had to make a decision based on our value of freedom or any of these?
Oh, we knocked back a client because of it.
It's true. And why? Can you remember?
Because they were going to restrict our freedom.
Absolutely. So those type of contracts is just not on for us, because we do have that value of freedom. So once you have your essence and your understanding of yourself, and then you go and define your values, you can put boundaries in place. How missing is that for so many of the people that we come across who complain about purpose?